What's up, Pokemoshpitbeta? It's me, Blackzero, bringing you my second upload to this channel, and this time we have a Black and White 2 Wi-Fi battle versus Xenon himself. Yes, guys, I managed to get a battle with him. This was my first battle on Black and White 2, and I was actually really excited to see that he was looking for a battle and he accepted my challenge to Skype. So turns out this was our first battle for both of us, so it was pretty balanced. And looking at his team, I knew I was gonna have extremely a hard time with his Tornadus Styrian form and his Thunderous Styrian form, because those two things in the rain pack a punch. Oh my god, those are going to be huge threat. 100 accuracy Hurricane and Thunder. I know I can't let him keep his rain up, because if he keeps his rain up, it's his game. So my objectives during this game is not even Stealth Rocks, not even anything. I just have to win the weather war. If I don't win the weather war, unfortunately, I am afraid I am going to lose this battle. Other than the two Therian forms, I'm not really too afraid of Landers. I guess he's just throwing that in there to test it out. But the Scizor, on the other hand, could pack a punch because it can pretty much destroy my team. If he predicts correctly, it can take out my Tyranitar, my Landorus, and possibly even my Rotom and Latios. So I'm gonna have to play around that a little bit, but really I'm keeping my eyes out for the two Therian form Landorus and Tornadus and Thunders, because those two are huge threats, especially since Thunders has an amazing 145 base special attack stat. Nothing on my team would appreciate a Thunder from that. Nothing, not even Tyranitar in the sand, and I have max special defense Tyranitar. So enough about that, let's get to this battle, guys. Alright, so I'm gonna lead off with my Rotom, because I'm trying to bluff that I have an expert belt, and he's going to lead off with his Tornadus. So here I had to play smart. He had two Pokemon that had immunity to Volt Switch, so I knew that Volt Switch would be a bad option. So I'm going to predict him to switch out into something that has an immunity, and I'm going to go straight for the Hydro Pump. Luckily for me, he brings in this huge ass threat of a Thunderous Styrian form, and I'm just gonna hit it with Hydro Pump and get a huge chunk. So it's at the range where if I set up Stealth Rocks, it might kill, it might not. So I'm gonna switch out, predicting him to switch out into his Ferrothorn, and I'm gonna go on to my Tyranitar, because my Tyranitar carries the Fire Blast, and it also carries the unexpected Ice Beam, just for those Salamanters and Dragonites that are out there. So I'm gonna go for the Fire Blast. I'm not trying to over predict, because I don't know, it paid off for me in the first turn, but I knew the Politoed switch was obvious, and I know the Fire Blast was obvious, but I just wanted to make sure I don't over predict and have that Ferrothorn in here for the battle. So he actually makes a very good play and goes into his Politoed. Unfortunately though, I do get the burn with the Fire Blast. I did not see that coming, honestly. It's good for me, but it's bad for him, because it's going to wear down his lifespan greatly, and it also negates the recovery he gets from leftovers. So now I'm gonna switch on to my Rotom. No, he's most likely gonna want to go for the Toxic or the Scald, and I know that if I have anything poison, it'll probably be my Rotom, and my Rotom can deal a heavy amount to his team, especially in the rain. So I know he's probably gonna go for the Protect here, so I'm actually gonna go for the Volt Switch. So after this, I know he is going to go for the Protect, so I predict him to go for the Protect. This is good, because here's where I can bluff the Choice Scarf, because I'm not actually Choice Scarf. I am the X Belt Rotom set, because honestly this is the best set for me. So here he sees I went for the Volt Switch, so now he thinks I'm locked into Volt Switch. So now I know he's going to switch out into something that's immune to the Volt Switch, either predicting me to go for it again or predicting me to switch out. So I'm actually indeed just going to stay in as he switches out into his Landorus Styrian form, and it's good for me because I'm going to be able to get off a Hydro Pump boosted in the rain. Oh my god, there is no chance for that Landorus at all. Honestly, if it would have lived, I would have been surprised, because that's a Hydro Pump coming from a Rotom in the rain. So luckily for me, I do predict right. The Landorus does die, so I don't have to worry about that. I know Landorus packs a punch, but I mean, if it was if my sand was up and that Landorus would have been a big threat. So in comes the Tornadus, and I know he's probably not gonna go for the Thunder, probably gonna go for something else, but either way, I just don't want him having that 100% accurate Thunder, so I'm gonna go into my Tyranitar, which is my special wall, and he actually goes for the Grass Knot, and I was not expecting this at all. It does a little under half, so I know I can probably take one and finish it off with a Pursuit, because it is in low range, and if he does switch out, I can Pursuit trap him. So either way, my Tyranitar is going to take heavy damage. However, I am going to be able to kill this Thundurus in the long run. This would be much beneficial. This would be more beneficial for me. And that Thundurus is gone. So now I got Thundurus Styrian form gone and Lander's Styrian form gone. So I'm up 6-4. It's looking really good in my favor. I got 2 heavy hitters out of his way. I just got 2 more to go, and then I can win. So here he's gonna bring in his Politoed. He's gonna get rid of my Sand and put up his range. So now I'm gonna be forced to switch out, but he actually predicts my switch out, and he goes into his Ferrothorn as he predicts me to go into my Rotom. So this is very good here because I actually do fall for it. I do go into my Rotom, and I'm going to take unnecessary toxic damage. So now here, I know he's probably just going to set up his Stealth Rocks, so I'm just going to go back out, and I'm going to go into my Fortress so I can either spin him away or set up my own Stealth Rocks. And he does indeed just use this free turn to set up his Stealth Rocks. It's no big deal. I mean, I can spin them away if I really need to. I'm not really too worried. So I know he's most likely going to switch out now, and I'm going to use this opportunity to set up my Stealth Rocks, because having Stealth Rocks up will really negate the amount of HP his Tornadus recovers from Regenerator, and this can really help me because, as you know, Regenerator heals 1/3 and Stealth Rocks does 25% to Tornadus. So he's gonna bring in his Politoed, and I'm just gonna leave my Fortress in because I don't really need it anymore now that my Stealth Rocks are having Stealth Rocks on his having Stealth Rocks doesn't really bother me. So I'm just gonna stay in and go for the Volt Switch, and I'm just trying to get any extra damage, and that Volt Switch did pitiful damage. I know Fortress special attack is very low, but I was kind of hoping for more, but oh well, you got to be satisfied with what you get. So I'm bringing my Tyranitar now just to get rid of his Sand and just so he can take burn damage. But I'm not really too worried because I know he's most likely going to switch out, and if he doesn't, then I'll just sacrifice my Fortress. It's not a big deal for me actually, so I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to switch out into my Fortress on the upcoming turn, as he is going to stay in and go for the Scald because he knows he can kill me from that range, and he probably knows he outspeeds, considering, I don't know, he just knows. I know I would know. I know he outspeeds, so I'm just going to go into my Fortress as Death Lauder. Don't really care about it anymore. I just want it dead so I can get a free switch in, and I also get an extra turn of burn damage on this Politoed to the range where I can potentially KO it with any Pokemon I bring in. So this is really good for me because after that burn, he's gonna be around, I'd say 25%, maybe a little bit more, but it is gonna allow me to bring into my Rotom. And now here I know he has 2 choices. He can go for the Protect and try and Toxic Storm me, or switch out and take burn damage if he does go for the Protect. So I know he's most likely gonna switch out, so I am just going. I was kind of thinking he might go into this Scizor, and I was gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp, but I was like, you know what? Let me just go for the Volt Switch because he doesn't have any immunities anymore, and I figured Volt Switch would do a pretty good amount of damage to anything on his team, barring the Ferrothorn. So he brings in this Scizor, and I looked at my team. I'm like, the only thing that can really take a bullet punch from most likely Adamant Choice Banded Scizor is my Infernape, because it does have 4 times resistance to Steel, being Fire and Fighting. So I knew I could take one and fire off this amazing ass move, Flare Blitz. Oh my god, that animation. Oh, I could have went for a Fire Blast, but I couldn't risk it missing, and I had to see that Flare Blitz animation. It was too beautiful. I heard rumors that, well, I heard people say that it was really good, so I had to see it for myself, and oh my Jesus, that was, orgasm. I'm just kidding. So now here he's gonna bring in his Politoed. I'm guessing he figured he's gonna lose the Weather War and he doesn't want anything to take. Maybe he thought I was choice or something, but I did take Life Orb damage. This is my mixed Infernape. I'm just gonna go for the close combat in case he wanted to stay in or switch. It really didn't matter. My fire moves were weakened by the rain, so I can finish off that Politoed with a close combat. Fortunately though, I am going to die due to Life Orb recoil, and since his Politoed is dead, I figured sending in my Tyranitar as Death Water just to get up the sand so his Hurricane no longer has 100% accuracy will be the best move in my part. So it's looking good. I still have my Latios, still have my Landorus, and I still have my Rotom plus this Tyranitar, but I know this Tyranitar is most likely going to die, so I know he's most likely going to go for the U-turn. Still haven't figured out which choice item he is because he hasn't been taking Life Orb damage, and he's not getting Leftovers recovery because why would he? He hasn't been staying in, it's been U-turning and switching out. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of choice he is. I'm still thinking he might be choice Scarf, not really Specs, because Scarf Tornado seems to be really popular in Black and White too, just because of its incredible speed. So he brings in his Latios. No, he brings in his Fortress. I bring in my Latios. My bad. So I brought in my Latios because I know I could probably kill it with an HP Fire, but I knew it might not kill. So I am going to go for the Hidden Power Fire, and it actually doesn't kill. And the Ferrothorn lives. Excuse me. And I figured he might want to go for the T-Wave, but he actually goes for the Gyro Ball, and here that Gyro Ball does a lot because I am choice Scarf, so it does do a little bit extra more, and Ferrothorn is slow as hell, so I am going to be able to go for another Hidden Power Fire, just waiting for Sandstorm or for him to kill me off. But he knows that his Ferrothorn will die this turn, and he actually brings in his Tornadus. I wasn't really expecting this, but I am going to be able to get Stealth Rocks and Hidden Power Fire damage off on that Tornadus, and this is really good for me. So here's where I find out whether he's choiced Scarf or choiced Specs. If I outspeed, he's Specs. If he outspeeds, he's Scarf. But he actually just does the hard switches. I go for another Hidden Power Fire. As you probably realized by now, I am choiced in some type of way, and that Hidden Power Fire is going to kill the Ferrothorn. This is very good for me because that means his last Pokemon is the Tornadus, and now I can see what choice item he has because he will be forced to lock himself into a choice move, most likely Hurricane, seeing that will be his strongest attack. However, he does have to risk the accuracy. So here I actually end up outspeeding. No, he outspeeds and he misses. So he misses the Hurricane, I'm assuming, because I have Landorus and Rotom left, and that'll hit them neutral. And actually, because of the miss, it might have cost him the game because he would have killed my Rotom. A Choice Scarf Hurricane might have been able to kill my Latios, Rotom, and maybe even my Landorus, but my Landorus is max HP, so I'm not too sure. So here, he's actually going. I'm gonna bring out my Landorus, and I know he's faster, so I figured because I am max HP, I might be able to take a hit, but even if I don't take the hit, the Sandstorm will kill him. Unfortunately, he is going to miss the Hurricane while I hit Stone Edge, and that is going to be a great game, Xenon. In my favor, I won 2-0, so that was a very good first battle I had on Black and White 2. Hope you guys enjoyed, and expect more content from me in the future. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Check out my channel if you want. Leave a like. Don't really care. Just I hope you enjoyed this video. See you guys. Peace.